You. Welcome back to another episode of Murph Montage Show.
In this next song, you must march around the room. Here we go.
I know what the fuck I'm doing. Just sit down in the chair.
Which I got this.
You just bring it and we'll run with it.
Okay.
Come on. You know you want it.
Let's go with, in reverse chronological order, the latest thing that I did, I put on my story last night, was about the Asker board.
Let me open that window back up.
I had an issue.
Tell the good people.
Okay, so my issue was, I saw the board of Asker has been put out there, right? Public scrutiny, that's fine. You put it out there. Here's who's on the board, right? Now, I have no issue with any of the people on the board, right? I don't know them personally. There's no animosity there, whatever.
We actually follow someone, don't we?
We actually follow them.
We
Yeah.
like what they do.
We like what they're doing, right? What I saw when you look at the current board of Asker is 5 Caucasian males, right? Now, my issue was, well, I put out the board and I put a little hashtag diversity because I was being sarcastic. Because my issue is...
Were you being sarcastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're not diverse. They all look the same.
So I'm singing a different line.
Yeah, I was being sarcastic. Right, so my issue is, and my concern is, the board is re-elected every 3 years, right? And so, with burgeoning women's sport, with a multitude, well, an absolute plethora of coloured athletes playing in our leagues, right?
And as I said before, pretty much every league around the world.
Yeah, every league around the world, right? Except maybe ice hockey. I don't know.
Maybe polo.
Or polo. Right?
Don't know.
But there is none of that representation on the board. Alright? And the board is designed to guide the industry forward for the next 3 years, so they re-vote again. And my issue is, if you are looking to try and encourage females as coaches, like it's about S&C coaches, encourage female coaches, and you're trying to encourage like the diversity across the industry, and in order to try and get the best from athletes, you need to kind of have people who've been there and done that, had the same experiences, had different experiences, whatever. And when I saw that, I was like, look, I don't know the histories, but I know the cultural backgrounds, and there's no alternate voices. Mm-hmm. There is nothing to say, hang on a second, look, you haven't had my experience, instead of saying being a woman, right? You haven't had to go through what I've been through. You don't see things how I see things, even though you may have the same qualifications as me, right? You haven't understood where I've come from, so therefore your voice is not going to be the same as mine. And I'm very much one for a large spectrum of voices to guide something forward. Something so significant, right, in our industry, I feel needs to be driven by a multitude of different ideas and different visions and different understandings of what's happening at the ground level to go, cool, hang on, let's try and maybe do something like this. So here's a different idea on doing something like that, and have that cross-cultural, cross-gender discussion to be able to help push it forwards.
Because at the moment it's just very biased.
It's very biased, and if you look at it, it's very masculine-driven, right?
Of course. And
you can't, for me, in order, like, I've got some fucking fantastic female coaches, and I know fucking even more fantastic female coaches, right? But for me, it's like, well, we need to kind of facilitate and drive that, because from what I've seen, female coaches offer so much more than I can offer as a male coach. No matter how good you are as a male coach, they're going to see things differently.
Would you say more or different?
Different. They can offer more in like a different section.
Yep.
Like I said, like if we're at the same sort of qualifications and we understand the same shit technically, they're going to offer a lot more in, say, let's say, an emotional sense.
Yep.
Which I wouldn't have naturally.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I definitely don't have that.
Yeah, absolutely don't have at all. You know what I mean? And so that's what I say. I say, like, well, if we want to drive this industry forward, then how can we be doing this stuff? Now, I've got issues with the voting process, the way it's sort of set up. And I've got kind of thoughts around all that side of things, because I think it leads to that kind of bias anyway. So for me, it's about, okay, well, what the fuck is happening here then? If this is what we're doing now, what's the next 3 years look like? Same as last 3 years. Maybe different shit technically.
Well, this is different again because now there's one less woman on the board.
Correct.
Because I've been, obviously you're pretty active on Twitter. I like to have a read every now and then.
Love the Twitter.
And I've seen you comment on, I'm very sorry, Dr. Soph.
Yep. So
and Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Yep, Nikolai.
Morris.
Yep. And they're very active about
Yep.
the female, or more Dr. Soph about the Asker, right?
Yep.
And Nikolai's from, where's she from?
No, I believe her background was New Zealand, but she's a member of Asker.
She's a member of Asker as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And they've been very vocal on Twitter about the female participation in strength conditioning in sport.
Yep.
And what was the thing they brought up? It was a little while back. You tagged me in it to read it. It was Pacey podcast.
Yes. So and this is what I was telling you about before we started filming, was that, Rob Pacey on the Pacey Performance podcast did a fantastic, I thought it was a fantastic interview with Doc Soph, Lorena Torres, who's a S&C in America, from Spain initially, and another guy, don't know who it was, didn't really give a fuck. He was really great though, because he was like, I can't comment on this shit because this is about the girls, right? And it's about women in S&C and their experiences getting to where they're at, what they had to get through, why they had to get through it. Like Lorena Torres was saying shit about that was Lorena Torres. She was saying things about being in Spain and working with teams and being told as an S&C over there, or as a performance coach over there, you're never going to work with the first team because you're a woman.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Yeah. And it's such a kick in the guts to anyone who has that kind of drive, that wants to be, who is a female, alright, who wants to try and get to the fucking first team. Why can't they? If they've got the skills and the emotional connection and the coaching abilities, why the fuck can't they do it?
If you've got everything that's required, but you're missing an appendage, that's something wrong.
Exactly.
That's very concerning.
And so that's why I had issue with it when I saw it come out. And I want to put something out there a bit on the post. I just saw it. I think I was, what was I doing? I was doing something that I was distracted, and I saw that pop up. I was like, fuck that, bam! And then I left it. And then I thought about it, and I was like, fuck, I should put something else out about that to give a bit more background behind it. I'm not just trying to be a hater on it, right? Yeah. Like I said, I've got no issue with the individuals themselves, but I've got issue with the situation.
As a whole,
I went back through the ASCA committees and board and stuff, and that they got it all out. It's all public, right? You can see it. And of there's a women's advisory committee, there's the board, there's a junior development one as well, high school they're trying to get into stuff. Every single person there, white male, except two white females. I'm like, okay, well, I was gonna go to work out the percentages and do that sort of shit, but I was like, I can't be fucked. It's like 9:30 at night. I'm not doing this right now. But for me, it was about, there needs to be some other fucking voices if we're gonna try and like promote this and get the women and like the success they fucking need to get to. That's what I think. I said it's not just women as well, alright? But it's the diversity itself is fucked.
Yeah. So it's not just women. You also want different cultures.
Color coaches, cultural. Yeah, sorry. Like different cultures coming through as well that can actually help, like, provide different ideas and experiences and backgrounds, and you can relate better to the athletes that we're working with.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be able to fucking relate to people of different cultures. If I haven't lived that culture, I can only relate. Like I can connect.
Yeah.
With people, but I can't understand their ethnic backgrounds,
the appreciation and
backgrounds.
understanding of where they've come from.
I can't do that.
And it's like, obviously being in with the Sixers for the 4 years I was there, I got along with all the imports we had, the American imports. Every single one of them except Eric Jacobson was a black guy. Mm-hmm. Got along with all of them still, but there was still that bit of I'm not going to try and appreciate where you come from because I'll never understand it. I'll never really know. So I'll never understand. I'll try and appreciate it.
I'm never trying to appreciate it.
Sorry.
Wow, hang on a second.
All right, I'll retract that.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to understand it, but I'll try and appreciate as much as I can.
Yeah, exactly.
So based on that, they always had a better relationship with Joey, with KB.
Yep.
Because of the same culture, right?
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the same with women as well. Like a man going into female sport, you can appreciate and try to understand, but you're never really going to understand completely because you're not a female. Now, I'm pretty naive to all this. I'm not in female sport. I haven't really done much female sport at all. This is definitely your topic much more than mine. But that'd be my view on it is I can get along with them. I can coach them through the best of my ability, but I'll never truly understand them because I'm not one.
Yep.
And I'm sure you go through the same thing, and you'd be
Yeah,
able to appreciate it
absolutely.
even more than me just because you're a man of experience with them. But still,
But I've never had the
understand.
history. You know, I've never had the background.
Yeah, what concerned me was I'm not going to name too many names, but I was asking an organisation about a strength coach to come on board under me and work with me with some teams. So give me your best people you recommend as strength coaches. I'm being very careful. And they went...
I know it. Okay.
They went, this person, this person, this person, this person. Right? Okay, that's 4 guys. I'm actually thinking I wouldn't mind a girl to get different perspective on things and just to change things up a little bit. Oh. We'll have to think about that one. We'll get back to it. But these guys are great. Like, there's so many there. I want something different. You know, I'm a guy. I've already got Dan with me. He's a guy. I've already got someone else I'm looking at. He's a guy. I need a girl. I need someone to change up, give a bit more diversity, so I can get into the female teams with someone that's going to understand a lot more.
And you know what it is as well. So there's like multi-layer from that, because if they can only put forward, say, 4 guys, for example, that might be indicative of there's only 4 guys in the course. I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? But then, okay, so out of our cohort of 100, what is the percentage of women in the course, right? Whatever that course is, whether it's, you know, a degree or a TAFE or a accreditation or whatever that is, right? What's the cohort of women? And then you go, okay, well, if there's this minimal percentage of women in there, why? You know, what is leading them either away from that, or what is not attracting them to that?
In that tweet that you tagged me in,
Yep.
with Nikolai and with Soph,
Yep. I can't remember the exact one because there's a lot, but
yeah. So the one you were talking about was where Pacey put up I think it was a soccer soccer application, and the amount of women that applied for the role.
Yep.
Remember this one?
Yeah.
And it was like 4 women out of 190 applicants.
Yep.
And he was asking why only 4.
Yep.
And one of the women who did apply commented, or maybe she commented on another application somewhere, but a woman commented, I can't remember the name, so I'm sorry about that, but she commented on the tweet saying, I didn't apply because I felt that I didn't have enough qualification.
Yep.
Now this concerns
me.
me.
That's right.
Because she did.
Yep.
All of her qualifications were what they asked or above what they asked. So why does this female, maybe females in general, I don't know, or a lot of them, still feel that they're underqualified even though they are qualified or above qualified?
And that's a great question, because from what I've seen, what the women that I've talked to in this regard have been about confidence.
Yes.
They're not confident enough. I think that came through in that tweet as well, in a discussion I had from that, was that they might have all the qualifications required plus, but they don't feel confident enough to apply or go into it.
Now, is that on...
And then the guys who might fucking have no qualifications have this fucking confidence to go and apply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the girls are overqualified but not applying, and the guys are underqualified but applying, and it's just the confidence factor in that.
Is that because of the way the industry is? Is that because of this particular female? Is that what do you? I mean, that's a question I've just got to ask because I don't understand. Is it this is what we're portraying as our industry is? It's because you're a female, you're still not going to be looked at as high as the males with the same qualifications. Is that what they're thinking?
Not as respected as much.
Yeah.
I can only look at it from my opinions,
yeah.
right, and from what I've seen. And let's just take it back to last night. If this is the board, 5 white guys.
Yeah.
If I'm a female going into that, am I going to feel like I can assimilate? I can build confidence with them. I can relate to them.
True.
You know what I mean? It'd be the same. I feel it would be the same as if it was 5 females interviewing me for a job.
It'd be tough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or 5 people from a different culture interviewing me for a job. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to connect on that deeper level.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think to what I was saying before is that what's the percentage of females in the course? Now, why aren't they applying to the course? Why aren't they trying to get into it? What is the barriers there? And if we've got a direction being guided by, being guided by a certain group of people that when you look at it outwardly kind of, I want to say, I don't want to say, what do you call it? When you disassociate from someone. Like they're not outwardly biased towards their own group, but you know, would I feel comfortable applying if I was gonna go for an interview with them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what level would I need to be at before I go, I'm confident in applying for that. But it's not about that. It's also about not just like that, so I just said it all in. It's not also about that. I've got so many thoughts, so we can fucking roll with this shit all day.
Keep going.
You know, it's about, okay, well, let's say I'm going to get to a PhD level and I'm even more qualified than all of them on the board, but how am I going to communicate with them? Are they going to understand what I'm saying? What are my experiences? Well, how can my experiences are going to be different to your experiences. You know, whereas like if I went in for a role, so let's say I went to interview with the ASCA board.
Current ASCA board?
Current ASCA board as of yesterday, right? Negating the personal relationships and respect I do have for the guys that are on the board, if I went to interview with them, I can be like, oh cool, I've had some of these experiences before, and they'd be like, yeah, we've had those as well, right?
You're all white men.
We fucking chilling, right? But if it was any other board, if it was say, like I said, 5 females, 5 people from different culture, or vice versa, a female going into, they're not going to have the same experiences. You know, a female goes in straight away and listening to that podcast, it fucking blew my mind. I listened to it like 3 times, right? Just the shit that the girls had to go through to get to where they were at now. And then now they're just starting to be like sort of recognized and shit. But like the shit that I was like, would never have to go through any of that sort of stuff. And neither of yourself, never have to go through that sort of shit in any level.
Yep.
Any level, you know. And so for me, it's just like, you know, you're not going to be able to build that as well, no matter what level of qualification you have. It doesn't necessarily come with the confidence to be able to assimilate and work with and connect with those in decision-making processes.
Yeah.
And that affects me. Because at the end of the day, what happens is that if we go, here's who you're interviewing with to get the role, and it goes, you know what? I don't want to go for that role, or I don't want to get into that course, or I feel a bit intimidated, or I don't have the confidence, then we lose out on a fantastic segment of coaches that could provide so much more to the industry and actually push the industry forwards in such a different way to what it is at the moment. Still growth, that's just different growth that athletes will benefit, teams will benefit, fucking administrations will benefit. The whole industry would benefit from having this in there, but yet it's not there, and it's not going to be there for at least another 3 years. You know what I mean? Like it just fucking riled me up. I don't give a fuck calling this shit out. I know you hate it. Like you're like, I won't step on any toes here, but I'll say the shit because it fucking pissed me off.
I'm gonna get my beast head and shift it over this side of the screen.
Right now. Yeah, just annoyed to fuck because I see the value in it. Like I've got some fucking fantastic female S&C coaches. Mm-hmm. You know, I almost hire exclusively female.
Yeah.
Right? Almost. You know, I've just hired another 2. I've got another 2 guys coming on board at the moment, but I've also hired another female as well. Mm-hmm. So it'll be 50-50 now. You know, but for me, it's like I want to keep that up there because, you know, like M offers so much more to her female athletes than I can even fucking offer. You know, and it was really nice last night. I was talking to one of the girls from Marion. We had like a end of season breakup, like Christmas breakup, whatever, and they did a warm up and then had some games over and it was barbecue, just chill out. And I haven't actually got to talk to them one-on-one or get to really sort of communicate and get to know who they are because it hasn't been that setting at the moment. Mm-hmm. Just kind of setting up the foundations. And one of the girls came over and she goes, you know, it was really nice. She goes, I haven't really talked to you before. And I said, I haven't really talked to anyone, but nice to meet you from chat. And she was like, it was really nice to see that when they brought you on board as part of your, I said bio, like I said, tell you guys this, whatever. She goes, it's nice to see as part of your bio that you focus exclusively on women. That's been your thing. And she goes, I really love that because I've never seen that before anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, don't get me wrong, I do train men's teams and I do have that there as well. But that only came through the work with the women because the women weren't being serviced, right, for their fucking athletic potential. But now I'm at that next level where I'm like, cool, I still want to be able to service the women, but I want to bring female coaches in to help work with them.
Yep.
You know, I want Em on board. I want like Izzy on board. I want to work with Sim. You know, these people who I'm like, respect that fucking aren't getting the respect outwardly. You know, I want to try and build that aspect of the industry. Fucking, keep going. You know what I mean? And that's what I see. That's why I got so pissed off, because I'm like, this is bullshit. You know, let's look at the cultures that dominate our sporting codes. Look at the genders that are, I say genders. Look at what's happening with the female side of things and how that sport is, the female sports side of things is fucking growing in the last 5 years. What the growth has gone through.
Yeah.
The next 5 years is gonna be even greater than that, with the investment that is now coming from the first 5 years.
Agree. Yeah.
Right? So we've got a fucking huge segment of the market of the athletic population, which is multicultural, right? Like to the nth degree. And then we've got a huge segment of growth market that's going to be, next 5 years is going to be massive, but yet everything coming through from a coaching perspective, from a physical performance coaching perspective, is this way. Is not either of these fucking, associated with either of these markets.
It's almost the same thing. So
Yeah.
they're just continuing on the same path.
Yeah.
Not looking elsewhere.
Exactly, and not opening up, not listening to other voices. Okay, what's your experience? How can we learn from you, and how can you help us grow this in a different, better way? Like
Evolve it almost.
how can we evolve it?
Yeah.
How can we take from what we're doing and make it better?
Yeah.
And not just look at technicalities and how to be technical with that coaching, but how to be emotionally sensitive to the fucking athletes we've got in front of us. And that is a fucking segue. I can segue where we at. 40 minutes. I'll segue into the next episode. I'm going to go calm down and have a coffee.
Yeah, we need to chill out a little bit.
Chill out a little bit. But yes, exactly why I put it out there. Needs to be more diversity and needs to be more voices that are being listened to from other segments of the fucking coaching world.
I would like to tag Nikolai and Dr. Soph in this little segment you've just
If you want to, man.
put out.
we can do it.
And see if we can get something back from them.
Yeah, we
See,
can do it.
based on what I didn't say much because again, not my world
Just
so
letting
much.
you know.
I appreciate it and I agree with it. See what they think about what you said.
Yeah. I would fucking love to hear it. You know, I would love to hear it. And, you know, I feel like listening to the podcast that they're on, I feel there's a few hesitations with things I would say. And obviously, you know, they've still got to look at their professional, but they might not want to be as abrasive as I'm only fuck because I'm a part of that community.
Dr. Soph is with ECU, you said, didn't you?
I believe so, yeah.
I might be studying under you next year.
You know what? That makes me happy.
That makes me happy.
Till next time.
Goodbye.